So when I pull, I keep my fingers on the clay. I don't have the sponge between my fingers and the clay. You can just feel things better that way. There's less drag on the clay, especially if you're starting to, if you're trying to throw big things, tall things, thin things, that extra friction from the sponge can create problems. I do keep the sponge in my hand. It just lightly runs along the clay. If it starts to dry out, then I can squeeze the sponge to apply more water to the surface there so my fingers don't stick. On these last couple of pulls, I'm going to start shaping a little bit. You can just pull a cylinder and then stretch it out, but you tend to get a very thin middle section then. So if you're going to be stretching it out fairly rounded, it's a good idea to start stretching as you pull. It just keeps the walls a little more even. We're going to keep this top closed in. And I'm kind of reserving this top section a little bit thick so that when we go to close this in more, I have some clay to pull in there. I tend to make very simple forms because I have a lot going on the surface of my pots. So simple form, much busier surface, otherwise they compete with each other. All right, so from here we can start cleaning all this up. I'm a big fan of the flexible metal rib. I like this rectangular size because you can get a lot of surface area touching all at once. I do use the rounded metal ribs at times, mostly only if I have an inside curve that I need to deal with. You can see that this rectangular one just has a bigger flat section, so I can touch more of the pot at one time. The more we can touch, the smoother we can get it. If you have smaller areas touching, you tend to leave more lines. So I use this on every pot I make. I need a smooth surface for the way I decorate things. So we're just gonna go over the surface with this, pressing against it from the inside. And as I stretch it and shape it, I'll use this rib to scrape down the surface and refine the shape. No, these are readily available for like $1 or $2, and they last forever. I have had these, and I lost my favorite one. I had one I'd been using for like 15 years, and it actually had a slight curve worn into it over the years, and it was wonderful, and it disappeared. One of my students probably has it. So, but they're great, they're flexible. Hold it so that it's covering all of your fingers, thumb in the middle, and then you can flex at the two ends to get the curve that you want.